When we look at Xiao Chai Hu Tang, this one's kind of a fractal formula, and this is why oftentimes it gets used in the stage 1 wind, even though it's not technically a release exterior, it's a harmonized formula. So what have we got in here? Chai Hu, Huang Qin, Ban Xia, Ren Shen, Sheng Jiang, Da Cao, Zhigan Cao. There's a reason why this formula is so widely used, and it's safe for kids, and it's safe for all kinds of folks. It's good for cancer patients, depending on their presentation. It's something you can use with all different kinds of populations, and some of the reasons because it's balanced. So we've got Chai Hu, and this is providing the exterior release to help push any hidden pathogens up and out of the body. And then we got Huang Qin. It's bitter and cold, and it has an anti-pathogenic effect. There's a reason why this might make sense plugged into a larger formula. You're going to be killing the pathogens. It makes it easier to release them when they're dead, or at least severely weakened. It's treating kind of a derivative pattern of having some dampness and some heat toxicity, because if you leave dampness too long in the body, it can start to stagnate and become heat, right? So there's that. And then the Ban Xia is looking at more like a stage 2 approach, clearing phlegm, breaking biofilms, right? The little critters in our body, they have the biofilm layer of slime around them that protects them. So the Ban Xia comes in and helps to break that, which then allows the Huang Qin to get in and actually affect them and kill them. And then the Chai Hu helps you actually flush them out. The Chai Hu's also got the hepatoprotective traits. It's going to help the liver. The pathogens, a lot of them are hepatotoxic, and that's by design, by natural selection, because the little creatures, when they get broken down, the pieces of their body are going to irritate your system. And part of that is an evolutionary advantage on behalf of the pathogen, because if you can start killing them and they make that process uncomfortable for you, the patient, you're less likely to keep doing it. Yeah, really, really interesting. They inflame the liver. They call this a Herxheimer reaction. It doesn't feel good. The Renshen's in there. It's a chi tonic, right? So it's going to give a boost. Why? Because these patients tend to be depleted. Their energy's been tied up battling pathogens, and they just need a little bit of a boost. So even though the Chai Hu has opened the doors on the exterior, that doesn't mean that the body has enough qi to eject these things. So that's where the Ren Shen comes in. And then we have the Shengjiang, Da Cao, Zhigan Cao. I'm going to generally leave those alone as middle jiao protection and harmonization for the entire formula. When you start looking at this stuff, it can get really interesting, though, because the licorice can protect the stomach lining. It's kind of interesting. What's going on here? If you look at your standard Western approach to a pathogen problem, whether it's acute or chronic, and they're like, okay, here's some more antibiotics, here's another round of antibiotics. Well, that's basically like just giving this one piece of this formula to them over and over again. It's just anti-pathogenic. Doesn't help them release it, doesn't help their liver, doesn't help break the biofilms to even get the antibiotics to the critters, it doesn't help build them up, and it sure as hell doesn't help their gut. So what you can see here is already a built-in gut protection. And my guess here is that these three working in combination are protecting the gut and creating beneficial conditions for good bacteria so that you can help to restore your gut flora. That'd be my guess. I bet there's some research out there somewhere about that. So there's Xiao Chai Hu Tang, but what you can see is this kind of fractal idea. We're going after wind, damp, the secondary heat off of that, the qi deficiency. You're getting this kind of combo thrust happening with a formula like this, but it's balanced and it's a harmonizing type formula. So you could use this as a stage 1 approach.